Like a rainbow, I also have 7 colors in me. But unlike it, my world is black and white. My colors do not begin from vibrant red and end with lively green, but they begin from pitch black and slowly move towards white, forming 7 shades of gray. Some days I wake up to white color. My heart is lighter, my mind is quieter, my body feels fine, and there are springs in my feet. But other days I wake up to gray color. The shearing pain passes through my heart. My mind is like a morning temple, full of noisy bells. Thoughts are running, jumping, and trampling around. My body feels so foreign to me, it fails to heed to my command. The springs in my feet, they creak away in rust. And then again, there are some days I wake up to absolute black. My heart beats slowly and monotonously. My mind is not only louder, but it's faster and excruciating. The shearing pain that passes through my body completely renders me immobile. Depression has visited me, along with compulsion, panic, and anxiety. I'm left alone, all alone, trapped within myself, waiting for another day, another bright day to start. My bipolar depression broke in 2008. I was in second year of my study at TEDxJacobsUniversity. My academics had taken a dip. By the time I sought help, it was already a semester gone. And it took me a few more months before I was correctly diagnosed. I was initially diagnosed as simple depressed and then was treated with antidepressant. But being a bipolarly depressed, treating with antidepressant was not a very good idea. Antidepressant pushed me to another point of emotional high. I ended up doing very strange and stupid things. Once I just got up and boarded a midnight train to Rotterdam. It sounded a fantastic idea, and I was convinced that that was the way to go. I could not continue in academics, so I had to take a year off. I got the medical treatment, came back, fortunately finished the bachelor, and now I'm pursuing master's. This bachelor and master have been the biggest struggle for me, and in a way, my biggest achievement too. As a depressed student, I have come to see and understand academics in a different light. I now understand that academics or succeeding in it requires certain things. The first thing I have identified is confidence. And the thing about confidence is it's very much dependent on success. If you succeed, you are going to be more confident. If you don't, God help you. And this helps true with the grades you get. The first A or 1 you get is always going to be difficult. But after that, you are going to get motivated, work harder, and all the A's and 1s are going to follow you. Vitality is kind of a backbone of the modern academics. If you can maintain a high level of energy throughout the semester, it helps. This is in particular true in case of attendance or participation. In the beginning of semester, all the classes are always full. But as semester grinds on, number of people attending the class goes very down. Well, this changes if there is a quiz. Then suddenly there are not enough places in the classroom. And same thing is true with participation too. Everyone wants to answer every question in the beginning. Hands go flying up. But after some time, there are only 5 people left in the class. If you want to excel in academics, you have to maintain high level of vitality. You need to go to class even though if it is not mandatory and there is no quiz. And good students usually do that. The third thing, an unfortunate backbone of modern academics is memory. It depends too much on memory. As a student, during midterms and finals, we are expected to memorize 500 slides or the whole textbook and then write the answers. And the thing about memory is, it's very much dependent on attention span. If you have a better focus, if you have a better attention span, you are going to remember things that happen in the class very clearly, or you are going to memorize the textbook. And fourth and the final dimension for me is structure. This is very easy in high school. You go to class, you come back in the evening, then you have your extracurricular activities, then you eat a meal or do your homework, then sleep. The structure is very rigid, but it changes with university. When I came here, there was a class at 8:15 in the morning, and then another at 7:15 in the evening. I had absolutely no idea what to do in between. Then they were like very odd homework submission deadline. Some of them you had to submit at 12 in the night, and some of them you had to submit at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And this takes some time getting used to. And if you want to succeed in academics in university, you have to utilize this time better and structure yourself better. Depression destroys all these four aspects of academics completely. By the end of it, you reel down and you completely fail in academics. Now let's get back to the main topic, depression. One person commits suicide in every 40 seconds around the globe. 75% of these deaths, to some extent, can be explained by depression or some form of mental illness. There are 350 million people affected by depression in the globe currently. 350 million is a big number. Not as big as 380 million, but still it's a big number. Let me compare that number with HIV/AIDS. There are 35 million people infected by that. And if you take up the ratio, there are 10 times more people affected by depression than HIV/AIDS. 10 times more. That is a serious number. But often in our day-to-day life, it's not taken so seriously. Fortunately, weather is very good today, but we could have said, oh, look at the depressing weather. Or, my team lost the match. I'm really depressed about it. Don't bother me now. The phrase depression is used so calmly and without thought. I could give you more example, but the problem with that would be my talk would get more depressing. And now, we use depression to express our frustration, sadness. But depression is not sadness. Depression is not frustration. Being frustrated, being sad, that's a normal human reaction to some situations. But being depressed, it's not natural. On the peak of my depression, I did not get out of my apartment for 21 straight days. That was not natural. It was a physical and mental torment. My body used to hurt from head to toe, each and every part of it. The pain got so excruciating that I had to run to bathroom and puke, and I had to do this 5-6 times a day. I was completely exhausted, completely burnt out. I felt like that I just got up from cholera after 1 month. It was that level of energy. And it was a sheer mental torture. My mind calmly and confidently calculated my life's worth. It took my failures in one side, my success in one side, and always found that my failures were heavier. And then it questioned my place in this earth itself. What it meant was that it always told me that my family's friends and relatives would be better off without me. For those 21 days, each and every waking second, I so much did not want to exist in that world. That is what depression feels like, and there's nothing natural about it. And now, on top of that, I was in second year of my bachelor, and I had to pursue my academic ambition, which didn't turn out very well. The first thing to go with depression was confidence. I was a very good student before that. I used to do good in exams and quizzes. But the problem was, for the first time in life, I started failing in quizzes. I started failing in midterms. I started failing in final exams. I went to the exam, I opened the question, I could not remember anything. I had studied, I had thoroughly done the revision, but I absolutely could not remember anything. I blacked out. And these failures took a lot of confidence out of me. And then there were people. As a depressed person, interacting with people is very, very difficult. I wrote to a few of the professors asking for extensions. Most of the time I was rejected flat. Some of the time they asked me not to be so lazy, structure my life, and then try to do something. And then my friends, they meant well. But as soon as I talked with them about my problems, they immediately wanted to fix me. They wanted to gift me this amazing new bestseller, self-help book that was recently out. And they forwarded me the link in the Amazon. But the problem with that is, depression is a serious illness. You cannot expect to cure cancer with a self-help book. So neither can you cure depression with that. And this interaction took a lot out of me. It was a horrible period, and I was doubting myself. My courage was gone, and my confidence was in the dump. The opposite of depression is not happiness. Mostly people think that, but that's not what it is. Vitality is opposite of depression. I'm a very happy person. I can say I'm a happily depressed person. But during the peak of my depression, what happened was I did not have any energy at all. Any energy at all. I used to go to the classes, and then I used to try and follow the argument what professor and the students are making, but my mind was so slow that I could not catch up with that. I could not answer the questions at all. And then, if I had some idea, I thought about raising my hand, and I realized that, no, I don't have energy to speak. And then some days, I absolutely could not get out of my bed, so my attendance went down the drain. The assignments that used to take me 2 weeks to finish before, now they were taking me 2 weeks. Sorry, the assignments that used to take 2 hours before, now they were taking 2 weeks. And this meant that I was failing in attendance, participation, and assignments. And my academics was going down the crap. Okay, this is one of the most distinct changes I felt during depression. I became a goldfish. My attention span was like about 10 seconds. I would stay in the class, I would listen to the lectures, I would pay attention, then I'd come out of the class and completely forgot what happened. I'd do the revision and go to exam, I couldn't remember it. And on top of that, I used to have something called panic attack and anxiety attack. They are like automatic rebooting system. What they do is that they restart you like a computer, but they delete away your memory. And then the medication I was in, they were very happy. They kept me so much sedated. And on top of that, one of the side effects they had was loss of memory. So if you combine all these three things, I was drawing complete blank in the exams. Coming to Germany and starting Jacobs University was a challenge in itself. And then add on to depression, it got impossible. My day-night rhythm completely changed. I used to go to bed at 11 o'clock, then I could not sleep till 4 in the morning. This meant that I had to sleep till 2 or 3 in the afternoon. I missed all my appointments and assignments. I could not pick up the phone because I was so afraid of it. I could not answer the emails or open the mailbox because I was very afraid of it. I knew that professors and teaching assistant had written me angry emails, and I didn't want to face them. So these 4 things combined, what happened was that at the end of it, my academics declined a lot. I was placed under academic probation, and I had to take a year off for my treatment. But fortunately, I completed my bachelor's. Now I'm about to complete my master, so things are looking a bit better. Sorry, I saw too much. Okay. I believe there is a way out for a depressed student. If you are suffering from some form of mental illness, it's a very difficult way out, but you can make it. The first thing you need to do is seek medical help. Go and talk with a psychologist, go and talk with a psychiatrist. If necessary, take medicine. These are professional people. They are going to understand the condition much better than you do, and they are going to help you. And then that's going to create stability, which is the utmost characteristic for a good academics. And then depression is going to take a lot out of you, but it's going to give you something back too. You will get this emotional richness. Since you have to go to hell and come back, you suddenly see the world in different light. Use this, start writing, start painting. It's no wonder that most of the writers and artists have some form of mental problem. Once you do that, your confidence is going to up. And if you want to manage the structure and vitality from this depression perspective, I suggest you start with something called depression management. There are two ways of doing it, internal and external. Externally, you need to identify the triggers that push you up or down. For me, it was winter, and being in Bremen, it was a big challenge. And then the other was sunset. For some reason, I really get sad when I see sunset. So when that happens, if you identify those triggers, what you do is you should try to avoid them. If you cannot do that, like a Bremen weather, get a big bowl of ice cream, write to your professors well in advance, prepare yourself for the worst time, finish all your job, and then your structure goes back into place. And for the vitality, that is something you are never going to get back, but you can still function. The first thing you have to do is stop listening to your mind. No matter what you do, your depressed mind is always going to tell that that's the worst thing you are doing. You could be painting the best painting in the world, but your mind is going to tell that is very bad, or that is crap. What you have to learn to do is that ignore it. Or if you can, try to joke with it. Simply say that, yes, it's crap, but it's my beautiful crap. Once you start doing that, what happens is that you start doing things. You don't feel like it, but you simply start doing things, and that improves your academics a lot. As a depressed person, you are going to get crashed. You are going to get crashed in the future. For that, get a support system. You cannot fight it alone. You need psychiatrist, psychologist, get it quickly. These four are the general advice anyone can give you. But the one that has helped me most is the promise. I made promise to my mom saying that I would do well in academics. And during the darkest of hour, when I'm about to give up, this promise holds me together. As a depressed student, academics is difficult. Well, if you think about it, academics itself is difficult. Depression is difficult. If you combine them, it often becomes impossible. But there is definitely a way out of it. I know it because I do it each and every day. As the time passes, number of dark days do fall, and the number of white days do increase. And once in a while, the world is not black and white anymore. You get to see a bit of color, and it does get better. Thank you very much for your time.